Here we are. Perfect. Welcome to Midjourney Mondays. This is episode 4. I'm excited for episode 4. For anyone who's watching, sorry about the clearing of my throat. For anyone who's watching the live stream, if anything is blurry or you can't see what's up on my screen, please let me know. Looks a little blurry on my end. Let me see if I can. Let me see. I'm gonna check from my phone and just make sure it's not blurry. Okay, here we go. Okay, perfect. It's not. All right, so hopefully over the next few minutes we get some people in here live. So welcome to Midjourney Mondays. This is episode 4. If you joined the live stream late, or if you didn't make it to the last few or don't make it to this one, they are all recorded and uploaded to our YouTube channel. Just a quick rundown in terms of what to expect. Everyone is welcome here. I'm really just going through all the features, how to use Midjourney, so that you can apply it to however your life needs Midjourney. I feel like there's a lot of different ways it can be used, and it's really up to you what you decide to do with it. But as I always say, please use it with care and responsibility and respect, and just know that it's very powerful technology. So we meet every week. This is our 4th weekly episode, and we pretty much just go through the Midjourney user guide from start to finish, and then kind of throughout and afterwards do some community prompting exercises using the live chat here on YouTube to work together to make different stuff. So yeah, if you're watching live, please don't be shy about using the chat. You're welcome to introduce yourself and participate in the prompting however you see fit. In terms of the schedule, we already went through the last few weeks of episode 1 through 3, so you can look back on our Midjourney Mondays playlist to find these previous episodes. We started by going through different plan types and really just the basic of how to use the Imagine prompt. Then the second week, we kind of talked about different art styles and how you can construct a prompt to get what you're looking for. Last week, we went through upscales and variations, how you can rate images, how you can save them. And this week, we're going to go through settings and info, which are kind of like boring, but then we'll get into stealth in public and versions and models, which I think is pretty fun, and Niji specifically, which is kind of like the anime type model that you can use. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. Before I start too, it's like you can see my my dead fella behind me, which is also my PFP on Twitter. At the very top of the thread, you can see Juju Mama. And I also have my Horde shirt on, so just a shout out to Dead Fellas. I think they're releasing their hologram soon, and I'll be able to use my character as myself in these live streams, and that's something I'm interested in playing around with. So, okay, in terms of what's coming next, episode 5, so next week we'll get into Blend. This Twitter thread is on my personal page, and this schedule is also within the description of every recorded episode if you want to know what's coming up or what already passed. This is free. There's no cost. I'm not trying to sell you anything. This is not sponsored by it's sponsored by my crystal store, but it's not like I'm like pulling out crystals and being like, yeah. Imagine if I was just like, use this pyrite for the perfect prompt. That's ridiculous. So no, I'm not selling anything. I'm literally just trying to like help people learn how to use Midjourney and help people decide if Midjourney is something that could be useful to them. Um, if you do enjoy this or find it really valuable, you're welcome to tip me. And if you do want to work with me personally or directly, I'm happy to do consulting. So feel free to just send me a message on Twitter. So if you know someone who could benefit from coming to this live stream, or watching the recording, please share this thread with them. And again, this is on my personal Twitter, on my Juju Mama page. All right, let's get into it. So we're starting with settings and info. So this is docs.midjourney.com, the official documentation from Midjourney for their tool. So using /settings, you can basically use all these different little buttons and toggles to change the model version you're using, the style, quality, upscale version, and also whether you want stealth or public. So when Midjourney first came out, which wasn't that long ago, it was version 1. And you can, all of these previous versions, this is something I find really interesting about Midjourney. All of the previous versions are still accessible to go back and use. So you can use /settings, and instead of using the latest version of 5.1, you can change it to version 1. And you'll see, and we'll go through this with prompts, but you'll see there's a big difference in terms of like how something might look in 5.1 versus 1. Actually, why don't we just quickly jump over and do that so that we can have a point of reference. So let's do ice cream. We were on an ice cream kick last time, so if you're watching live, feel free to drop any ideas for community prompting in the live chat. I'm going to say this a lot, and I hope it doesn't get annoying, but people join at different times throughout the stream, and I just want to make sure if someone joins late that they know they're welcome to participate. So I'm in 5.1 right now. So I'm just going to do, and I'm being super vague just for the sake of like illustrating the difference between these two versions. So now I'm going to do /settings. And you'll see here that I have, and you'll see all my settings that I have set, but for the sake of this, you'll see I'm in 5.1. I'm going to change it to 1, which is like the original version. Like this is like the Atari of Midjourney. So now I'm gonna do imagine ice cream, same thing, and let's see how these look different. We can even play around and like look at version 2 as well. So I'm gonna do /settings again, and you'll see that after you like change it in the settings within the prompt --B1, and it always does that when you have a certain version selected. Sorry, totally just lost my train of thought. Okay, so now I'm going to change it to, why don't we maybe do version 3 now? Oops. I'll do imagine. And I'm just using the same prompt just for the sake of comparing. I think that okay, so this is our original one. All right, so this is version 5. I was not specific about what type of ice cream or color, and this is what it gave me. They look pretty good. Well, this one's a little more, I guess maybe illustrative, but this one's kind of photorealistic. They're all really high quality and probably could be used without much further upscaling. So this is 5.1. This is the latest. Let's look at, I think we did 1 after that. Is it still going? Paused. Why is it paused? Oh, it's because I changed. It's because I changed the settings and I think you have to let it fully generate the output before you change the settings. And I think that kind of threw things off here. So I've changed it back to 1. Okay, there we go. So now it's doing, that's interesting. Now it's doing the version 3 one. So whatever, let's let it do its thing. And we'll compare 3 to 5.1. While we're waiting for that. Okay, so stylize parameter is the other thing that you can change from / settings. So if I click into this, it'll get more into what this means. So I'm literally just going to read from here. Midjourney has been trained to produce images that favor artistic color, composition, and forms, and stylize will influence how strongly this training is applied. So here are some really cool examples of how when at a low number or setting, so 50, I think it's between 1 and 1,000. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Default. Okay, so once you get up to the version 3, there's a much larger range of stylize available, but this shows between 50 and 750. And you can tell that like this is 50, so it's kind of a bit more simple. And then when you get to 750, yeah, there's more depth, there's more colors being used, there's shadows. So we'll play with stylize. We'll play with stylize next. And this is an example of V5. And then it tells you that you can switch using a parameter. Okay, so you can 2 ways. We'll do it from settings, but you can also use parameter -- s with the number. So let's look back here and see if okay, so this is version 3. Okay, so okay, big difference in what, why is this so small? And what version 3 looks like. The images are smaller, they're not as detailed, they're all very illustrative, I guess. They're not very photorealistic. They are ice cream. This one, bottom right, doesn't really look like ice cream, but the rest of them look like ice cream, so that's good at least. So that was 3, version 3. Oops. And let's see if okay, man. Okay, version 1. So yeah, this is actually, I don't think I've ever done this exercise. So this is actually really fun for me as well. You can't even tell what these are really. Like, if I just saw these images, I would have no idea that the prompt was ice cream. So, wow. I guess if you're looking for something more like abstract and I don't know, that's really the only word I can think of for this. You could explore version 1. And then obviously the newer versions are better if you want something more photorealistic. So, all right, we just went through the versions. Let's look at stylize now. Oh, also we'll get to Niji in a bit. Stylize. So what do I have mine? First of all, let's change back to the latest version. And then let's see what I have so I have mine on medium. So let's leave it. Actually, let's change it to low. And let's do I know it doesn't look. If you're live, just a reminder, you're welcome to contribute to community prompting and drop stuff in the live chat. So I'm going to do Vase of Roses just for the sake of kind of keeping it simple here. So I put low. That's -- S50. So let's do it again. Actually, let's change. So that was low. Let's change it to high. Imagine, I'm gonna do the same prompt, vase of roses. And then let's do very high. $50, $250, and $750 are what we're getting in our parameters for stylize. Public and stealth is the next thing we'll look at. Okay, so this is 50. Oh, again, I'm being kind of vague with the prompts, so I'm not specifying what kind of vase or what kind of setting. These are nice. They're clearly roses. They're a bit more pink than red. I didn't specify color. There's some nice colors. They're a bit kind of muted. They almost look like paintings. So this is 50. Let's see how 50 compares to 250. All right, 250, we're getting more variety in color. They all look like, well, the top couple kind of look more like paintings. So initially, yeah, the color palette was kind of all consistent, and now we're getting a bit more variety. And also, there's a bit more depth, it looks like, in terms of, you can really see like paint strokes as well. And then let's see how 250 compares to 750. All right, so these are looking, whoa, bottom right is, a little fly just flew at me. Bottom right is pretty funny. Like, this is so dramatic. Like, what is happening here? What? Yeah, very interesting. In these, you start to see some of the, like, there's rose petals, and some of the roses out of the vase, really out there in terms of bottom right. In the background scene, the rest were like almost always on a table, and this is like out, I don't know, by the beach or something. So interesting comparison, of using low versus very high. I usually keep mine medium because I'm kind of a down the middle of the line type of person. So I like to just keep mine on medium. Let's look at public and stealth mode. Okay, so we kind of talked about this, I think, in the first episode. Like, if you're using Midjourney in Discord, which is the only way to use it right now, you could use one of the Discord server channels that's public, where you can see image generations, from other people in real time. And their website is very open, and all of the different image generations are shown on the website. So if you have the pro plan and only the pro plan, you can use stealth mode, and you can prevent your images from being visible to others on the Midjourney website. I keep mine in stealth mode. And the only thing it does is prevent people from seeing your images on Midjourney. I do that because a lot of my Midjourney work I mint as NFTs, and there's an iterative process to creating it. And I feel like it's better to like keep that to myself behind the scenes. So I like to keep mine in stealth mode, and that's what you'll see mine. I think that's what you'll see mine is defaulted to. But it does say in here that even if you're in stealth mode, if you're generating in public channels, this only applies to people not seeing your images on the Midjourney website. So if you want people to not see an image that you create in stealth mode, you should use your direct messages or a private Discord server. And that's why I DM the bot directly and I don't use the public channels that are visible to other users. It's really up to you. Like, that's just my preference of what I want to do because, like I said, I'm selling some of the, like, it'll be an iterative process of variations and upscales. And, like, I feel like it's better to just, sometimes I'll share whips, like a work in progress. But for me, I feel like it's better to just share the finished product. If you're in the live stream, feel free to like drop any suggestions for community prompting in there. What else do we have today? Today is episode 3. Upscales, variations, rating, and oh no, here we go. Settings and info, stealth versus public, versions mono. Okay, so we're getting there. Fast and relaxed. I think we spoke about this in the first episode, I'm pretty sure. Fast and relaxed mode. So I put mine in fast mode because I am impatient. And yes, we did talk about this in the first one. So Midjourney uses GPUs to process your prompts. And when you subscribe on Midjourney, you're basically purchasing time on the GPUs to run your prompts. So different subscription plans give you different amounts of time. And the fast mode will give you the highest priority of processing to get an output. I don't want to say instantly. It says instantly here. It's not instantly because it takes a moment, but pretty quick. But if you use relax mode, it doesn't run your job as a priority and it will take a little longer, etc. So in the docs, it gets really into like how, because people will ask like, okay, well, like how much of my GPU time am I going to use to like run this? And a lot of things go into that. It's kind of hard to predict. And the only way that you can figure that out right now is like to use info before and after typing that prompt in to see how many to like compare your GPU minutes from before and after, which is kind of ridiculous. And I don't know, I'm sure Midjourney is working on like showing with each generation like how much GPU time it used. So whatever, just my own thought. So fast versus relax. If you have standard or pro, you can create an unlimited amount of images in relax mode, and it doesn't cost any of your GPU time, but it does take longer. So just a side note, like if you're in a rush, obviously you don't want to use relax mode. And I'm always in a rush. I'm always using fast mode. So if you want to change this, you can change it in forward/settings where you can change everything else. Remix mode. All right. So remix mode is like, say you type a prompt and you get your pictures, you get your 4, and you see it and you're like, like this is almost there, but like it needs a little tweaking. With remix mode, you can like it will, and here's the photos, and we will do it together as well. When you click when you have remix mode on, it'll show a little make variations button under the images. And then after you get the image, you can click that and it'll open a little pop-up window that has your original prompt. And then you can adjust and alter your prompt in some way. So like in the example here, it has line art stack of pumpkins. So then they remixed it into a pile of cartoon owls. Let's try this with remix, and I don't use this one a lot, to be honest, but maybe I should. Maybe this will like awaken me to use it more. So if you're in the live stream, give me some ideas for our first version. So maybe we don't want to do stack of pumpkins, but we want to do like, I kind of like this stack idea. So like maybe a pile of something. All right, so let me see. Do I have it? I do have it on remix mode. I'm in fast. Okay, so let's do If I don't see anything in our chat, you're going to leave me to my own devices and I will think of something myself. So I'm going to say pile of melted crayons. Oh my gosh, so many typos. I'm struggling. Okay, let's see what happens here. I think after this we can start to look at Niji, which is fun. I love it. This is going to be so interesting and colorful. So we have about another 30 minutes if you're just joining. We're getting into our like second half of the live stream where we do a lot of prompting together. So please do not be shy if you're in the live stream. Use the chat. Prompt with me. I always pull images from these prompting sessions to use as the cover of the YouTube video, the thumbnail. This is almost there. Okay. I like top right. If you see these four and you like another one of these, let me know and I will upscale it. So in order to use the make variations, like you can't use it from this initial set of 4. You have to upscale 1 and then you'll see the make variations come up. So we have a pile of melted crayons. Number 1, love the castle feel. You got it. And welcome. Thanks for hanging out. I love doing this. I feel like there's something therapeutic about using Midjourney. All right, so this is number 1. It does have a castle feel, but clearly they are melted. I don't know if it's clear that they're crayons, but because we typed it in, we know that's what they are, right? All right, so let's see, how do we want to change this? Like maybe we make it a pile of melted something else. Like, why do I want to type cheese? But that's ridiculous. If you're watching live, open to suggestions of how we can change it. Or maybe like food. Well, cheese is food. I guess I'm hungry. I don't know. Let's do cheese because that's where my... Maybe we'll say slices. Let's see what happens here. A pile of melted slices of different cheeses. That's fun. Okay, this is getting weird. There's still some crayon stuff going on. Oh, it does work? How do you use it from this? Is it by... How would I use it from this initial 4? I know that this little, what do you call it? These little arrows, like this will re-roll it and give you a new 4. But I didn't know that you could do remix from here. Oh, V1 through V4. Okay, honey. That's good to know. Thank you. And thank you for hanging out. I'm happy to have you here. Okay, so I'm in 5.1, so that makes sense. All right, so I added, oh my God. I added cheese in here and this is so weird. It definitely is not giving, well, maybe it's giving cheese. Yeah, that looks like brie down at the bottom. The colors at the top are definitely really weird. Oh my God, that is really ridiculous. Okay, maybe let's do it one more time. So we have like, maybe we'll do it with the other one, with this one. So we have a pile of melted crayons, and I am from New York, and I say a lot of words weird. So if my accent is coming through and you're having a hard time understanding, hopefully you can read it on the screen. Crayon? Is that how you say it? Crayon? Crayon. Okay, so maybe we'll do like I'm gonna say TV remotes. Candles. Let's do both. Let's do candles. I feel like candles might look similar to the crayons. Like now I'm struggling to say it. And let's do and I don't know why I wanted to see TV remotes, but all right, so this is where we're starting with this one. This is very, very nice. And that was a pretty, there's a lot of debate around like how detailed and long-winded your prompt needs to be to get, and I guess nice is subjective in terms of what you think is nice, but I feel like this could be used as like a stock image. Crayon versus crayon. Crayon is the correct way. Crayon. Interesting. Okay, crayon. It's so hard. It feels weird. It's like abnormal for me to say it like that. Oh God. Okay, so a pile of melted TV remotes. Why did they look like cell phones? They look like beepers and old Nokia phones. I don't know. This is so entertaining. I could do this literally all day, every day. Okay, a little weird. I don't know if it's giving TV remote, but it definitely electronic device of some kind. And what was the other one we did? Candles. Yeah, they do kind of still look like the crayons, but they are a bit more waxy. Like it looks like different colors of wax. Really loving the different kind of textures that are coming through for us. We got a little variety of color palettes, got a couple bright ones, and then this one's a little more like muted. Wow. Yeah, I didn't use that one a lot, but that was fun and interesting, and perhaps I'll start using Remix a bit more. Is there anything else? Parameters. You can add or remove parameters while using... Okay. I don't know if I want to get that down the rabbit hole right now, but I could have typed in new parameters within that new window. Wow. Sometimes when I read through the user guide like this, I just become aware of like how many, like I'm paying for the most expensive version, and there are a lot of things that I'm not yet using that I don't know if I should be or could be. So this is helpful for all of us. And then this is just showing how you can toggle it on and off and how you can put it on in settings. I think that is is it? Okay, custom preferences. Okay, so these are more things I don't use, but good to know. So /prefer, you can start getting into setting up, it says I'm muted. Am I muted for anyone else? It says that my mic is on and recording. Let me know if you can hear me, if you're live right now. You might have to jump out and come back in, but maybe I have to turn my mic on and off. No? Can't hear me? Anybody else here live that can or can't hear me? Better? Let me know. Now I'm concerned. Y'all able to hear me? It says my connection is excellent condition. So hopefully y'all can hear me. If you can, let me know in the chat. It looks like, okay, you can. Perfect. Lovely, lovely. All right, so custom preferences, /prefer. So I've never used any of these. This is really good to know, like I was saying. So you can use auto_DM to automatically send completed jobs to direct message. So I guess if you were using a public channel, this would be good, which I'm not, but if you are, something to make note of. Create or manage a custom option. View your custom options. Okay, so this is getting into custom options. All right, so if there are certain parameters that you use often, you can set up options so that they will basically automatically add them at the end of your prompt. So if there are certain aspect ratios you're always using, etc., or a certain version that you want to use, you could also set that up using custom preferences. I am not utilizing this too much. My brain is like moving in terms of how I can use it. But now that I didn't even know it existed, and now that I know it exists, perhaps I will start using it. And then suffix automatically appends the specified suffix after all of your prompts. Okay, so this is like, this stuff in here is kind of just feeling to me like ways to save time and like shortcuts, so there's less that you have to type if there are always certain parameters that you're using in your prompts. Now that I think about it, I'm probably wasting a lot of time by doing dash this at the end of all my prompts. So this is really helpful. All right, we did settings and info. We did stealth versus private. We went through the versions and models except for Niji. So now we can look at that one a bit. So I'm going to go into settings. And we looked at the older versions. Oh, we didn't look at raw mode. Since we're in 5.1, why don't we check that out? And let's see what the user guide says about it. Oh, they don't. Oh, do they have it in here? Interesting. Yeah, I'm not. Hi, dear. Looks like my dad has joined the live chat. Hello. Let's before we go to Niji, let's look at raw versus like we're in 5.1. So let's type a prompt in here. We did melted crayons. What else did we do? I did some flowers. Any suggestions? Throw out a noun, an adjective, a verb, anything. I see we have like 2 or 3 people in here. So between the 2 or 3 of us, we should be able to come up with a few words. And then we'll compare 5.1 to raw, and then I'll move into Niji. Niji is so fun. What comes out of it is so precious. Birthday cake. All right, so this is 5.1. And then let's look at raw. I remember reading, like, it's not coming into my head at this moment what exactly the difference is, and I didn't see a description in the user guide. But I think one is like more cinematic. I don't know. We're about to find out. A fluffy snake. Okay, I like that. Maybe we'll do that in Niji. That sounds like a fun one. I'm just gonna change it to raw and do the same prompt really quick so we can see how these compare. And let's also, while we're in here, we'll do fluffy snake in here too. This is still in raw, so I'm gonna turn it off. Goodness. Yeah, I now I see, okay, so now I see why people are using like the custom preferences and settings and, you know, automatic suffixes, because going in here and changing stuff every time, like, I don't do this a lot because I usually keep it in the same one, but for the sake of doing this episode, I'm doing it a lot. I'm just like, holy cow, this is really taking a lot of time. Okay, so I turned it off, and now we'll do Fluffy Snake again, and we'll just compare them. All right, so this is Birthday Cake in 5.1. And like, I didn't specify whether I wanted it to be a vector art or 3D render or illustration or photorealistic. So we have a few options. Like, one is, you know, more kind of 3D, one is more photorealistic, one's like an illustration. They all clearly resemble birthday cakes, maybe with the exception of this bottom right. It's a little busy, like, like, like this is like a hoarder's birthday cake. Like, this is for an episode of Hoarders. Like, what is going on? This is so absurd to me. Oh, goodness gracious, that gave me a good laugh. Okay, this is a bit more traditional. All right, so this is our 5.1 birthday cake. Let's look at our raw. Okay. So these are more birthday cake. Like, I don't know, they all look more real. Like, they all really are giving birthday cake. Like, I don't know. What is the difference? Is anyone here in chat? No. Let's see. It's not telling me in here what raw actually. Oh, okay. Here we go. Found it. Raw removes some of the default Midjourney aesthetic style. Found it. Okay, so what we're getting here is the prompt without Midjourney's. Okay, so Midjourney's default aesthetic style is a bit out there. These are way more traditional birthday cakes. So, but let's look at Fluffy Snake now, because that's a bit more like, that's a bit less straightforward. So let's look at 5.1 first. Oh, goodness. 5.1. Okay, so interesting mix. Like, this guy looks like he has like little cotton balls on him. He's clearly very fluffy. This one is I don't know how fluffy, but the image itself does kind of have like a misty type quality. Kind of almost looks more photorealistic. Oh, this is fun. Then we have one that's like kind of in the clouds, a white snake. And then, ooh, this is my favorite. Look at this. It's like a little cotton candy vibe going on. Very nice. Very nice. Okay, that's 5.1. What do we get in raw? So raw is without Midjourney's default aesthetic styles. Very interesting because we're losing all the fun flair. And I noticed that with the birthday cake one, now that I think about it too, it becomes much more like, I don't like, less fantastical. So the ones that we have here, I don't know, they're not giving fluffy, and I don't know why they're all white, like they're all albino snakes. Yeah, I think our other ones were a bit more fun, but good to see the difference. All right, now let's move into Niji. Looks like we have 3 people live, so if you're live, feel free to give me some ideas for our next prompts. I'm going to change our settings. So version 4 and version 5, let's compare them. Maybe we'll start with 4, the older one. Let's get more specific with our prompts. So everybody throw something out there, and I'll throw something in there too, and we'll just have like a prompt mashup. All right, I'm gonna start to craft this prompt. You are welcome to throw any suggestions in the live chat. I'm gonna say, there was what was that fun word I saw? Battlecore. Let's say, I like that cotton candy situation we saw earlier. So I'm going to say cotton candy princess, battle core. I'm going to say 3D render. And I'm going to say a gaming character. So I want to get something that kind of looks like a video game character. Okay, we got something. Nigerian market scene in a mythological environment. All right, so let's literally just put it in there like that. I was gonna add things, but I'm like, no, let's leave it as is. We're in 4, so now I'm gonna change our settings to 5, and let's redo these 2. Okay, very nice. So let's start with, well, let me reprompt the market scene first. All right, so let's start with the version 4. Cotton Candy Princess. Wow, this top right is giving Strawberry Shortcake, like the real character. Okay, very cute. Like they're all very well, I don't know. When you type in cotton candy and princess, I guess this is kind of the color palette to expect. There's candy. They all seem to have pastels. Let's just quickly compare these 4 to, oh, they're still going. Let's upscale 1. I think that top right looks pretty good. And let's compare to, right, this is 5. So the characters are, in my opinion, less juvenile, with the exception of bottom left. And you get a wider variety of styles. So like this one's a bit more close up. This one is a bit more of like an animated character, an animal versus a person. I didn't specify that it needed to be a person. So as I'm pulling these up, is there any in particular that stand out to y'all? So here's a comparison. It really looks like Strawberry Shortcake. Let's look at that maybe next to like this bottom right. Version 5. Okay, so weird lollipop that's like clearly not center, but pretty nice detail. And then let's look at version 4. Still pretty good. So I guess it depends. Like I said, 5, I got more varied output in terms of style and everything. And 5 also seems, I almost want to say, more expressive. So let's look at the Nigerian market. Mythological. I don't know if it's picking up on what we like. I don't know. When I think of mythological, I think of like otherworldly, or like maybe like creature, like dragons or something. They, to me, they kind of just look like normal markets, Nigerian marketplaces. So maybe we adjust the prompt. And also I didn't specify any type of style. It's not, I don't know, it's not looking very Niji to me, despite it being in Niji mode. Let's see if this one is looking a bit more Niji to me. You know, like they're looking more, oh, how cute. They're looking more animated. More like kind of a anime situation. Really like that top left. What do you think? Let's look at it bigger. Let's compare. If you are in the live stream, we're doing community prompting, so feel free to drop any suggestions in the chat. We are looking at Niji mode right now, which is kind of like a more anime character type style. That'd be an amazing PFP. This the little strawberry shortcake, and let me stop saying that before I get like a DCMA request. I feel like this would be such a cute profile picture. Okay, so let's look at these. This was 4. Okay, yeah, I mean it is an illustration. Not very mythological, like I mentioned. But then this one, I don't know. I like the style of this more. But that's a personal preference. I feel like this is more Niji, and it's so cute. This could be a scene out of an animated film. All right, so maybe we'll keep it in the newer mode. Let me just make sure that's what I have it in, because I don't remember. Yes, I do have it in 5. Okay, what should our next prompt be? We're approaching our last few minutes of the live stream. This is an hour long from 12 to 1. So if you've been hanging out, now is your chance to prompt with me and drop some suggestions into the chat. We're in Niji mode, so keep that in mind. I said 3D render for that first one just to kind of spice it up and make it more specific. I'm thinking, what do we want to do here? Gaming characters are fun, but maybe an animal, maybe like a... I've been really into doing women with their dogs lately. Because I'm a woman with a dog. So let's say I want to specify I want to get a black character. I want to get a black girl. And I want her to have an afro. Yeah, I have also noticed that the finer details are kind of lacking, and they're still working on it, so hopefully it gets better with time. And we're gonna and maybe let's do wide angle so that we can really look at what you just mentioned. All right. It's giving Legends of Korra. I like to specify, like I've noticed that when you don't specify that you want to see someone with darker skin, and I mentioned this before, it will almost always default to giving someone with pale or light skin. So if you do want to see darker characters, obviously you don't have to type black, you can type Indian, Asian, whatever you want, Mexican, and you will get characters that look different. You can even be vague and say ethnic or biracial or multiracial, and you'll get people that look different. So just a heads up. I said black girl, so let's see what Niji's perception of a black girl is. Having used these words in Niji before, I have an idea of what we'll see. Okay, so I said wide angle because I wanted to get some details, hopefully outside of the portrait, like you mentioned here in the comments. So let's see. I'm laughing because this one, like, what is happening in this one? Is that like a rock or another dog? She has the afro. She's with her dog. Let's make it bigger. I like top right. Let's just make them all bigger. Upscale them. So this is 5. Yeah, I see what you mean in terms of the details. Like the background is very minimal. Not much detail going on. It's nice. I still like it. It's cute. I like how the dog is not on the leash, but like maybe she's just holding the leash. Here's another fun one. I like how this is a kind of from behind shot. Did not specify that, but got a few different angles here, which I like. Emojis, yes. Oh my god, I was experimenting with emoji only prompts the other day, but not in Niji. So let's do that. That'll be fun. And that is pretty cute. Pretty adorable. Okay, so you can also prompt with just emojis. Let's see. How do I... Is there a way to... There we go. Okay, so let me... We're still in Niji, so let's see what happens. Any emoji suggestion? Oh, in terms of trying to be more specific with race or gender. Okay, so let's say... Let's do the lady... And let's do like, this red square. Okay, so I should get something, hopefully, that has the color red and has a woman. And that's interesting. I've never tried, I mean, I've tried just prompting with emojis, but I've never tried to use them in that way, so that's pretty cool. And now let's just do like a random emoji. Maybe let's just see what happens when we prompt the American flag. And we're still in Niji, so just being mindful of that in terms of the outputs. They are loading. All right, we're approaching our last couple minutes here, so any final prompt suggestions, please drop them in the chat. I do this live stream every Monday from 12 to 1, Midjourney Mondays. So if you join late, you are welcome to join next time. And I also record them and post them up here if you want to play back the recording. Okay, so this, oopsies, we're super zoomed. Sorry about that. I over zoomed. Okay, so this was the prompt that I got that was just the woman emoji and then the red square. So it does look like they all have red in them in some way. And it does look like they are, well, this one's a bit more purple than red, but they're all women. And then when we did, what was the other one? The American flag. The American flag ones are just kind of like giving us they look like they're more in combat gear, like they're soldiers. So that's an interesting correlation, the American flag and the military. I guess that's a very American thing. My best prompts are emoji only ones. Yeah, no, I've gotten some really interesting and fun things with only emojis. And let's just, before we kind of wrap up, let's just, let's change back to 5.1 and see what we get with the same emojis. So back to 5.1. American flag. And okay. Looks like, okay, somebody gave me some emojis in the chat. I'm copying viewer. I hope I said that right. Imagine. Oh, it only copied the one. It's not letting me copy all your emojis. So I'm gonna have to just do the flag. That's so weird. And I'm just gonna drop it in the chat. Just a reminder that I am on Twitter, and you can follow me on Twitter at JujuMama, and I do the lives every week, and I always kind of give a reminder like, hey, I'm gonna be going live on Monday if you need to be reminded. So let's look at these same emojis in 5.1. American flag. Wow, this is really fascinating. Okay, so we have some actual flag imagery. Lots of white folks, which is no surprise. Got some flags in here. Got people in different like outfits. Looks like scientists and like some blue collar workers. This is actually pretty cool in terms of the styles we're getting. Then we have, whoa, that's weird. It's like a bird, these weird bird creature things happening, dinosaurs with a woman and a flag, and it's, I don't know what she's holding. Is it a gun? Like that's also very American if so. And then what do we have here? This is a bit more surreal. I don't know if this is like a Donald Trump going on here, and then like a helicopter. Wow, that is, maybe I should have changed the style low. Okay, and then this was the woman and the red square. Okay, it was super interesting, very surreal. They all have women in them. They all have the color red in them. For some reason, there's a lot of fish going on in these three. Man, I get a kick out of this. Okay, and what was our other emoji? So what do you think? We got, from our flag, we got some houses. Oh, very sweet. So Belgium, does this look like Belgium? Because that's what we're getting when I do the Belgium flag emoji. I do a lot of prompting on my phone, so being able to adapt the skin tone of the emoji I use helps a lot. Discord doesn't have the best emoji selection. Very true. I am on my computer so that I can do the live stream and like record it, but I usually prompt on my phone as well. And I've never tried that. I love doing these because I always learn something new. And that is something new that I've learned in terms of using the flags and the different gendered characters to get different outputs. That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. All right, folks, time flies when you're having fun. An hour has passed. I will be back next week for episode 5. Episode 5 is completely dedicated to blend. Blend is something I use a lot. Almost all of my minted work, all of my AI artwork that I have as NFTs are the result of blending a variety of outputs with each other. So I'm really excited to share more about how I use this process. And then I always love getting tips and tricks and feedback from other folks. Again, I'll be sharing more about this on Twitter. My PFP on Twitter is the same as my character back here, is my Dead Fellas. That's how you know that you have found me on Twitter. I will see y'all next Monday for episode 5. Thank you so much for hanging out in the live stream. Now I'm going to just have to go back through my Discord and figure out which of these I want to use for our cover image. I actually really like these, the ones we got from the Belgium flag, so maybe I'll use one of these. All right, folks, I will see you next time. Thanks for hanging out.